Okay, let us say one Bali that was our best goalkeeper in the AFCON, even though they went to the final, how much did they give them to start from there? I'm not trying to discredit what they deserve it, but the 150 million, they should have been invested in a different place that can even yield profit and will be well appreciated, because these players that they are giving this money, they are professional players and they are well paid in their domestic leagues that they play. So based on my own point of view, it's okay but not okay, based on the fact that there are people that need this money way more than them, that are even doing better things that need to be appreciated than just football.
Even though the one is too much, I think in his own opinion he's right. He can do anything. He's the president. He can do anything. So I cannot question my president. What I'm saying right now, the money is too much, but I can't question him. Like, if he can use that money to go to other villages, there are children that need that money to, to start up some stores, but as in that money too much. 150 million for each person.
The bringing home of the WAFCON trophy has once again proven that sports has a big unifying factor amongst Nigerians, just like offers them relaxation against the harsh economy. Sochima Odo, Voice of the People Television.
Meanwhile, in Lagos, Nigerians echoed similar sentiments, saying no incentive is too great to inspire excellence and success among the younger generation. Matthew Ogunsuada concludes the report.
Personally, I feel that it's a very, very good thing. How can you work and not expect a reward? I know that the Super Falcon, the motivation wasn't the land or the money, but you would have seen the passion from Alozie, from all of them. Jibade, the captain in particular, you would see the passion. I didn't miss any of their matches because I knew this girl would win. Truth be told, the final, they were 0-2 from Morocco, and they had to come 1-2-3. It's not easy, man. Now, that passion just shows the resilience of the Nigerian spirit. And when you take a look at Nigeria back in the day, there was one time when you win, they would just give you what is called a presidential handshake. What the F? No presidential handshake for this one. There's a reward. And there was this Facebook quote that's saying, why would Mr. President speak that when we were 2-0 down? He put his mouth and they say, oh, this man has spoken. But now, after everything, the Super Falcon bounced back. So the reward is articulate, their houses. At least this should be one of, if not their first houses for many of them. That's my own take. And then the financial reward that comes with it. Shout out to DJ Drogba. I heard he dropped 50 million. Shout out to Obi Kubana, just to mention a few. These girls are made, if not for them alone, for the sake of their families and the extended friends. Anybody that identifies with one of them say, she give me so and so. It wouldn't have come on their own salary and sweat, but from the fringe benefit that they get from winning the cup. So your question, is it a good reward? This is a super reward from Mr. President. So for once, I'll say thumbs up, Mr. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and other people should follow suit.
Well, it's a good thing because, they say the result of hard work is more reward. So I think they did well and they deserve it. And everybody were happy that night. So it's a good thing that they participated and they did well. So the president doing that is also good because it also motivates the younger ones and those that are also going for other tournaments for the football team. And in our country, football is not that celebrated, but we thank God that the president has gotten involved and people will start taking it serious.
Well, I want to comment that it's well deserved. Honestly, it's a reward for hard work. I think it's a good thing the government has just did. Because if you remember very well, I think it's been a long time that things of this just happen in this country. It's very good. It's welcome.
Well, Sushima from Oka and Matthew here in Lagos, thank you. Another development now, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to securing the release of the remaining kidnapped Chibok schoolgirls and Leah Sharibu, assuring Nigerians that they have not been forgotten despite the passage of time. A total of 276 girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram from Government Girls Secondary School Chibok in Borno State on the 14th of April 2014. 11 years later, 87 of them are still believed to be in captivity. Similarly, Leah Sharibu was among 110 schoolgirls kidnapped by Islamic State West Africa Province fighters from Government Girls Science and Technical College, Dapchi, Yobe State, on the 19th of February 2018. Speaking at a multi-agency anti-kidnapping meeting in Abuja, organized in collaboration with the UK's National Crime Agency and National Coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Adamu Laka, said some of the girls have been rescued, but efforts to free the remaining ones are ongoing. He stressed that the absence of media reports does not mean the government is inactive or indifferent.
Troops of Operation Hadinkai have again repelled a coordinated Iswap attack in Bita, a community under the Goza local government area of Borno State. The Defense Headquarters confirmed the incident in a statement posted on its official Facebook page. This is coming 6 days after Boko Haram attacked the same Bita, an area under the Goza local government area. The statement, however, noted that while the troops killed many insurgents, no casualty was recorded on the part of the military. It further stated that the general situation remains calm, though unpredictable, while troop morale and combat readiness remain high.
And now, in the Northwest, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Jigawa State has confirmed the death of 4 persons, with 5 others still missing, following a canoe mishap in Taura local government area. The command's public relations officer, ACSC Baruddin Tijani, disclosed this in a statement issued to journalists in Dutse, the state capital. Tijani said search and rescue operations are ongoing to locate the missing victims.
The Senate Committee on Public Accounts has given the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) 21 days to clarify financial discrepancies amounting to 210 trillion naira. This follows the appearance of NNPCL's Group Chief Executive Officer, Bayo Ojulari, before the committee in response to an earlier summons. Ojulari, who has been in office for just over 100 days, pleaded for more time to study the audited financial statements covering 2017 to 2023, noting the complexity of the issues raised. He explained that further internal review and reconciliation are needed to respond adequately and promised to set up a team to handle the Senate's queries. The discrepancies include 103 trillion naira in liabilities and 107 trillion naira in assets, figures lawmakers described as alarming and largely unverified. Committee Chairman Senator Aliyu Wadada said the red flags must be addressed thoroughly within the stipulated timeline.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating the Barrow Inland Port Project has summoned the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, and NIWA's Managing Director, Bola Oyebamiji. The committee chairman, Saidu Abdullahi, described the abandoned project as a national scandal, citing glaring anomalies and wasted public funds. Officials have been ordered to appear before the panel and submit full documentation within 7 days, including contracts, payment records, inspection reports, and proof the port was ever operational. Lawmakers expressed outrage over conflicting reports, noting that despite the port's 2019 inauguration, there is no evidence of cargo movement or road access.
Moving on, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas held a strategic meeting with Martin Chongong, Secretary General of the Inter-Parliamentary Union at the United Nations headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. The meeting took place on the sidelines of the ongoing 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliament, according to a statement by Musa Krishi, Special Advisor to the Speaker. In his opening remarks, Chongong praised Nigeria's commitment to parliamentary diplomacy and commended both leaders for advancing legislative engagement globally. Discussions focused on strengthening the partnership between the IPU and the Nigerian National Assembly in the areas of climate change and gender equality. Speaker Abbas expressed gratitude for the IPU's ongoing support, including a recent $25,000 donation to the House Committee on Climate Change's Capacity Building Program. Chongong also lauded Nigeria's leadership and pledged continued IPU support to combat disinformation around inclusion-related legislation.
And away from the National Assembly now, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission has strongly condemned a protest by some Ghanaians calling for the deportation of Nigerians over alleged criminal activities. In a viral video circulating on social media, the protesters were seen carrying placards and accusing Nigerians of promoting mass prostitution and ritual killings in Ghana. Reacting to the development, NIDCOM, in a statement signed by its chairman and CEO, Abike Dabiri Erewa, rejected what it described as a blanket criminalization of Nigerians living in Ghana. The commission stressed that Nigerians are not criminals and urged the Ghanaian public to avoid generalizing the actions of a few individuals.
You're still watching the news on Voice of the People television. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll have our analyst in the studio to make more sense of these stories. Still stay tuned.
3 years ago, we lit the spark. Today, we are blazing the trail for others to follow. VOP Media is free. 3 years of breaking boundaries. 3 years of being that bold voice that echoes the thoughts of the people. 3 years of telling stories that matter.
We have experienced complete breakdown in democratic governance.
We are not just a brand, we are a movement, giving voice to the voiceless.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To every viewer, every voice, and everyone that has made us who we are, we say thank you. VOP Media, 3 years and still counting. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People television. Don't just react, understand.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People television.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news hour right here on the Voice of the People television. Now joining us in the studio for the analysis segment to make sense of these stories, we have Akinlere Akinyiga, a tax expert and public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure to have you here. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we have quite a number of issues to discuss, but the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononga, is defending the reward package given to the Super Falcons. I took the liberty of converting $100,000 to Naira. That's about 160 million. That's to just
50 million?
About 160 million. Yeah. Per person, 11 players, then $50,000 to each person in the technical team, in addition to houses. Yesterday, we were having a conversation, Vivian, and the question we asked the analyst was, how do we know this is not audio money? But now Nigerians don't even want to know whether it's audio money or not. What they're saying is this is too much. In the face of hunger in the land, in the face of economic policies that have plunged the people into poverty, people cannot afford food. And we're not saying we're not proud of the Super Falcons. 160 million naira per player. Couldn't that money have been channeled into other aspects to make life better for the 220 million Nigerians who are suffering?
Well, absolutely, that could have gone the way you wanted it, but
Not me, Nigerians.
Okay,
not me. I'm objective in this situation.
Some Nigerians wanted it because I wouldn't want to say most of Nigeria are actually against the giving the Super Falcons $100,000 each. And when you look at that fund in aggregate, is about $2 billion. Because 100,000 is going to be given to 24 players, then 50,000 to 10 technical team. That is about $2.5 billion. Well, come to think of it, what if that money is not given to them? What would have become such money? Probably.
Oh, okay. You're flipping the coin now.
Yeah. So it's possible that such fund might have been embezzled. I mean, so yeah. So, and it's also possible because we have issues of lack of accountability in public in public affairs in Nigeria. So I think most Nigerians should be happy that some of these people, some of these Super Falcons, they play for local leagues, and they're not even getting well paid, like compared to their international counterparts. So if they now get $100,000, I mean, that should be like a good reward for them to also motivate them to do better in the next competition. I believe the next competition should be the World Cup now for them before another Nations Cup. So I think that is going to motivate them to do better.
So when they win the World Cup, they get $1 million each, or what happens? If we say we should be happy that we know where our money is going, it's not that. The people who are speaking, quite a number of people are happy about this. They say they deserve this. This is the 10th time they are lifting this trophy. It is a huge feat, and personally, I'm very happy. Super Falcons have given us something to be happy about. But if we're taking it as, oh, at least we know where our money is going, I mean, this money could have been channeled into other aspects. We have the problem of insecurity in this country as at this moment. Just today, the NSA came out to tell us that insecurity has reduced under Tinubu. Meanwhile, at the time when he was speaking, a farmer in Benue State was being killed on his farm. Couldn't we have channeled this into equipping the military to solve the problem of insecurity, or to reduce it to the barest minimum? Couldn't it? So people are talking about food subsidy. Nigerians are tired of palliatives, because palliative is like giving a man fish instead of teaching him how to fish.
I agree with you. Okay, based on what you said, yeah, I also want to share the view of those Nigerians that it could have been used for other several things to resolve the insecurity issue, resolve the hunger issue. But come to think about it, before now, Nigeria have had money to spend on all those things: insecurity, food security, infrastructure. Has all these issues, has it been finally resolved?
That's $1 billion question. You know.
So I mean, so these are the questions I want Nigerians to be asking themselves. These issues cannot go anywhere. And come to think about it, this fund we are talking about is being removed from Ministry of Transportation budget.
And so there's a budget for this thing we are talking about.
Yes, there's a budget for it, and they cannot go outside of the ministry budget to probably allocate Ministry of Sports and Youth Development budget to security, to Ministry of Defense budget, because they've already budgeted for it as well.
So there is no overlapping here, is what you're saying, right?
Yes, absolutely.
A cross-section of Nigerians from Oka, you watched the report. They were very happy with, the generosity of the president and all of that. The girls, if you watch the video, when the president announced the rewards, I saw some of them putting their hands on their heads like they had not seen stuff like that before. So it is said in some quarters that it is okay to reward statesmanship and sportsmanship, right? Which is basically what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Right. I think it's a safe place for us to land on that particular one. There are more stories that are on the front burner. Chief of them really is the federal government vowing to rescue the remaining Chibok girls, including Leah Sharibu from Chibok, who happened to stand out when this particular incident happened. For context, let me just give you a short read. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to securing the release of the remaining kidnapped Chibok schoolgirls and Leah Sharibu, assuring Nigerians that they have not been forgotten despite the passage of time. So why is it a big deal? Now, a total of 276 girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram from government's girls' secondary school, Chibok, in Borno State, on the 14th of April 2014. 11 years later, 87 of them are still believed to be in captivity. Similarly, Leah Sharibu too falls into this category. Years, over a decade. And we are still having this conversation.
Yeah, quite unfortunate.
It is.
Yeah, quite unfortunate that over 11 years, yes, we are still having the issue of insecurity. So the question is, when are we going to stop having insecurity in Nigeria, despite humongous budgets that has been issued out to the Ministry of Defense? I understand that in the previous administration, billions of dollars were used to procure military fighter jets. And I believe we have taken delivery of these fighter jets. So how has this fighter jet, how has it been deployed into tackling insecurity in the land? And again, with over 10 years, and we're still facing this issue.
And you still have girls in captivity.
And we still have girls in captivity, over 87 of them. Over 87 of them. As a citizen, are we still supposed to be trusting the government about releasing these people in captivity? And again, it's not just about the girls in captivity. We have thousands of Nigerians in captivity. Yeah, so I think we should try to lend our voice to other people in captivity so that they can also be released. I mean, the other people in captivity are also human.
Absolutely.
So, so in this case,
maybe the reason why this is on the spin, why we're talking about this is because this was a big deal.
Absolutely.
It was an international matter. You had people like the former president of the U.S., Obama, and his wife holding placards and all of that. Yeah, so much was said about this. That is why we are talking about this particular one, decades after it happened. I'm sure Chema has more questions along these lines.
It's quite unfortunate, but some Nigerians feel like the current administration is trying to use this to score political points, especially as machinations are in full gear ahead of the 2027 elections. The Buhari administration might have said a few things, but we did not see them actually being proactive about rescuing these girls, even though this happened during the Jonathan administration. Like I said earlier, the NSA came out today to tell us that Nigeria is more secure. These 87 girls who are still there are no longer girls, they're now women. It's 11 years after. Many of them have suffered sexual abuse from those people in captivity. They've had to birth children that they never planned for. They've had to, sometimes, they release videos. We see these girls. Some of them do not know another life apart from where they are. When the government says, we will do this, I'm Nigerians tired of hearing we will, and they won't actually see that proactive steps are being taken. Like, release one person first, let us see. It was about 2 weeks ago that there was a report that 2 boys who had been they were kidnapped at age 9, taken into terrorist camps. They had been there for 4 years and they were able to escape. So insecurity almost seems like it's been woven into the fabric of, like every day we hear the news, those of us in the southwest and in other areas that seem to be, to feel secure, it just sounds like, oh, it's happening all the way up north. It doesn't concern us. At what point are we as Nigerians going to start taking that responsibility to sit on the neck of our government to say, look, enough is enough? About 6 law students, right? 6 law students were kidnapped while traveling from Anambra to, was it not Adamawa Yola? And we have the NSA sitting in one place and telling us that insecurity has reduced because he's the NSA and he doesn't wear the shoe, so he doesn't know where it pinches Nigerians. So do you believe that the federal government will actually do this, or do you agree with those Nigerians who say they are trying to score cheap political points, maybe to pander to the north?
I mean, maybe the NSA is trying to say that insecurity has reduced on the way to Aso Rock. Yeah, maybe you might be right.
He doesn't travel.
So maybe you might be right. I mean, saying insecurity has reduced, I think that would be a fallacy. Looking at what a lot of people have been facing around in the country. I myself, I don't literally listen to so many news reports again because I know that most of the time I come across about insecurity issues, if not kidnapping, ritual killings, but not to deviate from what we are discussing, the Chibok girls. I think we as a Nigerian, we're already losing faith. We're already losing. We don't have faith in when it comes to security issues in the Nigerian government any longer. So, and I think Nigerian government will need to do far better than what they do now for citizens to believe in them once again.
All right, that's a safe place to land on that particular one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move on to this very one. This is your forte. Yeah. The Senate has given the NNPCL 21 days to explain a 210 trillion naira gap. Right. Just for context, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts has given the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited 21 days to clarify financial discrepancies amounting to 210 trillion naira. Now, this follows the appearance of NNPCL's Group Chief Executive Officer Bayo Ojulari before the committee in response to an earlier summons. Now, this is not the first time this is happening in Nigeria. I mean, this is the place where someone will wake up and say a snake swallowed millions of naira, and someone else will wake up and say all sorts of bizarre stories and all. So I'm sure this doesn't surprise you. The 210 trillion naira gap you're talking about.
Well, to be honest, this actually caught me unaware when I heard it, about 210 trillion. So that is about, let me say, about 5 years Nigerian budget.
It's mind-boggling.
I mean, to be honest. But what I can see here is issue of lack of transparency in governance. I can see lack of transparency in NNPC affairs, and I can also see lack of accountability at the ends of affairs. So, and because it might be impossible. I mean, it might be impossible for that kind of fund to go missing without getting noticed. But again, this is Nigeria.
But it's also important for us to spell it out that it's not just the current constitution of the NNPCL that has to answer for this amount of monies that's missing, Choma.
True.
It's something that's spanning
Mele
years.
Kyari, the former group CEO who left before Bayo Ojulari came in, many Nigerians, even while he was the group CEO, felt he had a lot of questions to answer. The refineries, he commissioned that he showed journalists and showed people, he took journalists around to show them the refineries. As you can see, we are working, you know. Some people think we are not working, but here we are working. Less than 6 months later, those refineries have packed up. So shouldn't Mele Kyari be the one answering these questions? There was a time he was invited by the Senate and he says, when the time is right, I will speak. Is the time not yet right for Mele Kyari to speak? What is going on in Nigeria's oil sector? Because you talked about this being Nigeria's 5-year budget. When we break down this amount in terms of the kind of infrastructure it can offer to Nigerians, if these were actually channeled towards the appropriate quarters, the kind of schools it can build, primary health care centers, when it comes to youth development, the kind of things that these monies can do for us. Yes, the Senate is shining the light on it, but how do we know that this will not be swept under the carpet after just a short while?
Well, left to me, I mean, if the Senate is serious about doing something, then an independent forensic audit needs to take place. Just to unravel the veracity of fraud that has taken place in NNPC over the years. Again, I believe that governance is continuum. Whether Bayo Ojulari is the current one and we have Mele Kyari as the previous one, Bayo has accepted to take on the asset and the liability of NNPC. So I believe during the handing over, he would have been properly briefed about everything that has happened in NNPC. Again, thankfully, Mele Kyari is still alive. I mean, he can still be called for questioning. But trying to tackle it in totality, I believe an independent forensic audit needs to take place.
All right, the key word there being an independent
forensic
auditing.
Yes.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about the anti-Nigerian protest in Ghana, right? Ghanaians are saying, Nigerians, go, leave our country. And they're saying you're promoting prostitution and ritual killings. But this is it, yeah? NIDCOM and its chair, Bikadabi Rewa, is saying that it is not right for you to generalize and say, hey, and make it a stereotype. I know. But what do you make of it, though? This is an unpleasant turn of events. It's taking a look, considering the fact that Nigeria and Ghana have come a long way. We are neighbors, for crying out loud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Looking at it, it is quite a displeasurable event that this is happening within West Africa, not even the larger part of Africa. Because if we are talking about opening our border to each other so that we can facilitate trade, so this xenophobia attacks that is going on between Ghana and Nigeria is actually very, very uncalled for. Again, I would say Nigerians in diaspora, specifically in Ghana, needs to do better in terms of how they behave, how they represent Nigeria. They need to be more patriotic and also obey the laws of the land. But nevertheless, I believe diplomatic solution would have been explored before this escalation of issue. So I will blame the government of the two countries for whatever is happening in Ghana now, because I believe there must have been an intelligence around this whole issue, and the government of Ghana would have informed the government of Nigeria, and diplomatically we would have resolved this issue before it gets to this level.
All right.
Yeah, because this is actually going to affect a lot in terms of balance of payment, in terms of cross-border trading, and what have you. And this is going to affect all of those issues. A lot of people have lost billions within these days that these issues have started. So I think it's quite unfortunate and uncalled for that this issue is happening at this time.
All right.
Still on the Nigeria Must Go protest, reminds us of 1984 when Nigeria did their own Ghana Must Go protest. Many Nigerians do not want to believe that so many years later this is a retaliation, but some Nigerians are of the opinion that it is Nigerians on the internet who are fueling this with our tribal online wars. When do you have Southeasterners pointing at Southwesterners and vice versa, saying, oh, they are the ones spoiling the country. You even have people tagging Ghanaian influencers and saying, just the Southeasterners out of your country, just the Southwesterners out of your country. They are the ones causing this problem. So at home, we cannot sit at home because of the fire in some of our regions. Then when we go outside, we still cause problems for ourselves. How, if we are not safe at home, we are not safe outside the country, what do we do? Do we hang in the air? Do we start living on the mountains?
I think you're setting up for a part 2 of this particular one, Choma. But you've been fantastic tonight. Thank you for joining us on News Hour.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. That's the much we can take for now. We've been with Mr. Akinyiga, and we've been exploring the tropical issues in Nigeria. We'll take a short break. When we come back, stay with us.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOPTV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOPTV, Voice of the People Television.
Is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. It's the fundamental right of everyone to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health, without distinction of race, religion, or political belief. On VOP TV, we bring you Health Check, a show that x-rays different health issues and provides solutions with the help of experts in the medical field. Join us every
Welcome back, everyone. On the foreign scene now, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification has issued a new alert warning that the worst-case scenario of famine is currently unfolding in the Gaza Strip, predicting widespread death without immediate intervention. While the alert stops short of formally declaring famine, it follows global outcry over images of emaciated children and reports of dozens of hunger-related deaths amid nearly 22 months of conflict. In response to international pressure, Israel announced measures over the weekend, including daily humanitarian pauses in parts of Gaza and aid airdrops. However, the United Nations and Palestinians on the ground say little has changed, with desperate crowds continuing to overwhelm delivery trucks before aid reaches its intended destination. When we come back from this short break, business news. Business news now. The International Monetary Fund has upgraded its forecast for Nigeria's economic growth to 3.4% in 2025. This marks a 0.4 percentage point increase from the IMF's April forecast of 3.0%. Similarly, the fund raised Nigeria's 2026 growth projection to 3.2%, up from the earlier estimate of 2.7%. The revised figures were published in the IMF's July 2025 edition of the World Economic Outlook, which also reflected a slight upward revision in global economic growth. Our projections now pegged at 3.0% for 2025 and 3.1% for 2026. These represent 0.2 and 0.1 percentage point increases, respectively, compared to April forecasts.
You're still watching the news. Our entertainment news is up next.
Welcome to the entertainment news. Timi Dakolo, Flavor, Tenny Fido, and other top Nigerian musicians have performed for the Super Falcons at a presidential dinner held in their honor. The federal government hosted the event to celebrate the team's victory at the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations, WAFCON. The dinner took place at the Tramps Cup Hilton in Abuja and was attended by several notable dignitaries, including the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Hanatu Musawa, Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoka Anite, Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, comedian Seilo, and football analyst Kelechi Anyikude. Moving on, between July 1st, 2024 and June 30th, 2025, 12 African songs made it into the Shazam Global Top 10, with Nigeria recording the most entries, leading all other African countries. Among the 12 African tracks to crack the top 10 are several Nigerian hits, including Davido's With You, Omale, Faceless, and Serotonin's Venus, Charlie Poppy's Lahore, and Fido's Joy Is Coming. A particularly heartwarming entry is Kesiele Onyesi Oche by the late Nigerian icon gentleman Mike Ejaga. The 40-year-old high life classic went viral in 2025 after skitmaker Brain Jotta featured it in his popular dance videos. Elsewhere in entertainment, American singer Ciara has become one of the first public figures to receive citizenship from Benin under a new law granting nationality to descendants of enslaved Africans. The Grammy-winning performer was granted citizenship at a ceremony in Cotonou, part of Benin's broader initiative to reconnect with Black diaspora, acknowledge its role in the transatlantic slave trade, and promote tourism around sites of historical remembrance. Speaking at the event, Benin's Justice Minister Yvonne Duchesneau said the move is both an act of justice and a symbol of hope aimed at healing historical wounds by formally recognizing Africans in the diaspora. Benin passed the landmark law in September 2024. It allows individuals over 18 to apply for citizenship if they can trace their lineage to ancestors deported through the slave trade from anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa and do not already hold citizenship from another African country. Authorities accept DNA test results, authenticated testimonies, and family records are proof of ancestry. This is all we have for the news. I am Precious Oganiro.
And this is what we call it Robson News Hour. Thank you so much for watching. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Chioma Innocent.